Usually when you think about Plants vs. Zombies plushes, you usually think about the Plants vs. Zombies plushes made by the companies Linkson or WorldMax, but today we're going to be looking at a plush set made by a company you probably haven't heard about. So with that said, welcome to a look at the Hejing Kaiwei Plants vs. Zombies plush set. Let's start with the first plush in this set being the pea shooter. Now, every single plush in this set came in only one size, being the keychain size, besides the zombie plush in this set. This pea shooter is in a plant pot and has a lime green body with dark green leaves around the stem of it. The dark green leaves next to the base of the stem are made out of felt, so they could get bent and damaged, and the leaf on the back of his head is also made out of felt, so I'd be careful with those. His eyes and his mouth are both nicely embroidered on, and overall the head shape is just really nice looking. The only thing that I really don't like about this plush is that the stem is the same color as the head, which isn't accurate. It's supposed to be a darker green color, but besides that, it's a pretty good plush. It also doesn't make sense that the dark green leaves are at the base of the stem, because that just isn't how it's supposed to be, but still overall it's a pretty good plush. I would recommend looking on either eBay or Zanu for this plush, but it's extremely rare and you have a very low chance of finding it due to the lack of the documentation about this plush. Now let's move on to the next plush in this set, which is the sunflower. Just like the pea shooter, this plush is in a flower pot and the stem is the same color as the pea shooter stem, being a light green color. On the base of the stem there are light green felt leaves, which once again could get damaged. The sunflower's face has a light orange color with yellow petals surrounding its face, which by the look of the petals they could seem to get damaged easily because it looks like they are made out of some sort of cheap material. The sunflower's eyes and mouth are once again nicely embroidered on, just like the pea shooters. Overall, once again, just like the pea shooter, this plush has a few inaccuracies about it, but overall it's still a pretty good plush. Once again, this plush is extremely rare, a little more common than the pea shooter because there's actually one documented owner of this plush instead of 0, but yeah, you basically have no chance of finding this plush because there's only one owner of it. Now let's move on to the next plush in this set, which is the walnut. The walnut is a light brown color and it has plastic eyes. Since the eyes are made out of plastic, the paint for the pupils could get damaged easily because it could just get easily chipped off and the plastic could get damaged quite easily. The eyebrows and mouth are nicely embroidered on, and they have really nice embroidery actually. I really like how they did extra detail on some certain sides. That's a really nice detail that they added on this plush. This plush also has beans in the bottom of it to make the plush probably just hold up better and just like stand better. Just like the other two plushes in this set, it's extremely rare and hard to find, but actually there's only 2 documented owners of this plush. I would recommend looking on eBay or Zanu, but there's a very low chance that you'll find one. Now let's move on to the first night plush in this set, and the only nighttime plush in this set being the Fume Shroom. This Fume Shroom plush has a light purple cap on it and has a lot of little pink spots all over it, which actually look really nice, and I'm really glad that they did put a lot on here because it just looks really nice overall. There's black embroidery where the shooter would be, and it's a separate piece of plush by the looks of it. The body on this plush is made out of some like peach color and has embroidered eyes, eyebrows, and a mouth on it. Even though there's very little embroidery there, they still did a great job making the expression on the Fume Shroom to show that it's angry. Now, this is probably one of the rarest plushes in the whole set because the only pictures that exist of this plush are the ones taken by the company themselves, so there's no outside documentation of the plush besides the pictures that were taken by literally the company themselves. So since there's literally 0 documentation outside the company itself, it's very hard to find, so yeah, you basically have no chance of finding this plush. Another plush in this set that also has no documentation outside the pictures that were taken by the company themselves is the next plush in the set, being the squash. The squash is a light green color with a huge stem on top of it, which is inaccurate because it's not supposed to be the same color as the squash. It's supposed to be a darker color, and also it's way too big. Now the face on this plush is actually really weird looking. They made the face just look really weird for some reason. They have black embroidered eyes, eyebrows, and mouth, which just makes the plush just look shocked, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, the squash doesn't even really look that angry. He just kind of looks scared or shocked with how wide his eyes are open. And also, this plush is just kind of weird because it's just all the same color and the stem is supposed to be a different color, so it kind of throws off this whole plush. As I said earlier, once again, this plush has no documentation outside the company itself, so it's very hard to find and you basically have no chance of finding it. Now let's move on to the final plush in this set, which is the only zombie plush in this set, being the basic zombie. Now, this basic zombie plush is a lot bigger than any other plush in this set, so it kind of like stands out through the set. Now, the head on this plush is actually really inaccurate. The head shape is just weird overall, and also it only has 4 teeth for some reason. For some reason, the zombie has a really long nose, and the front of his face is just kind of stuck out from the rest of the face, which isn't accurate at all. The eyes are made out of felt with embroidery on them, so I guess that looks good, but the rest of the face just doesn't look right. The inside of the mouth is also made out of felt. The tie has red and white stripes, which actually it could vary on which plush you get. Some zombies have a ton of stripes on them and others only have a few, so I guess it just varies for which variant you get, I guess. I don't know why it's just like so different throughout every plush. The zombie has a brown coat and blue pants, which overall just look nice overall. It also has light brown shoes, which isn't fully accurate, but I still think it looks nice. The thing that throws off this plush fully is just the face. I think they should have made the face different and just make it look more accurate overall, because it doesn't look that accurate as it is. This is the plush you probably have the highest chance of finding in this set, as it has the most documented owners and has the most outside documentation with photos and listings of it. I would recommend looking on eBay or Zanu for this plush. And yeah, which plush in this set is your favorite? Mine is probably the Fume Shroom, but what is yours? Comment that down below and make sure to like and subscribe and have a great day.